Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. In today's video, we're doing a breakdown on a vintage Winchester Super X turkey load. This is a 1.5 ounce load of 4s, and it just says Mag 1, whatever that means. We have a Winchester 209, obviously. No box today because, well, these were donated to us by a local viewer who gave these to Josh, and, well, I have them here to do breakdown videos on. High brass head. This is steel though, so not really brass. 6-point fold crimp. Overall, it's kind of corroded, but still has a decent crimp on it. They do have the burned in crimp thing though. I guess we're jumping right into this one. No box to look over or anything like that. Just jump right into the shell. Today's snooze and drink combo is 1 blow, which means blue, and the flavor is Inbar, which means juniper, inspired by Göteborg's Rapia. It is a juniper flavored snooze. Pretty good, tastes like gin a little bit. And for a drink, well, we went ultra fancy today. Great value purified water. So looking over the rest of the shell, it says 2 3/4 inch, which is 70 millimeters. And well, it is kind of sun faded. It does have a rib texture on it, or splines, whatever you want to call them. So this is not a tapered hull. I believe this will be just like the other Winchester Super X I broke down, vintage anyway, that was in this same style or line, which those were loaded conventional, no shot cup of any kind, and, well, just has fiber wads. So I am suspecting this one is done up the same way. The modern version of this is, once again, 1.5 ounces of 4, 5, and I think 6 shot. Don't quote me on that. But those actually have wads that are the same thing as the Longbeard from Winchester wads, except those do not have the smashed plastic buffer material that the Longbeards have. They just have Grex buffer. The crimp for the most part is okay. It is nice and deep set, but it's not completely uniform. We do have a couple pedals right here on the right side that have caved in, but it is what it is. I wouldn't expect this hull when it's fired to be able to be reloaded that well. You can see the plastic is starting to fray out, and typically whenever hulls look like that, they don't last but one firing or one reload. Now, if you guys have any experience with the Winchester Super Targets or Universals, those are probably the worst reloading hull on the market, because after the first firing, you typically see frayed plastic like that. If you look at the right edge center screen, you can see what I'm talking about. The Super Targets or Universals do that really bad. But I guess without further ado, let's open this up and see how they put this one together. I have no idea what decade these are from, but I would assume late 80s to early 90s, because in the 90s, manufacturers did start to realize that full-length wads are really the way to go with turkey loads. So I have it opened up, and for a total payload weight, we have 1.573 ounces, which tells me that this is a full payload of lead, 1.5 ounces anyway, and the buffer is making up the difference, the 0.72, 0.73 that you see. So yeah, a full 1.5 ounce payload with buffer. I love seeing that. It seems like Winchester are only the really people in the game that's giving you full payloads. I don't know. I haven't really seen any other company do that. But the shot looks, well, as you'd expect. Some of the plating is gone. Some of it's completely gone. But it is definitely number 4 shot. Those are some big pellets. Here's a better view of it. You can see what I was talking about. Some pellets, like the one on the bottom there, has no plating left. Some of them are almost fully plated, but for the most part, they're all kind of worn off a little bit. And we can see our Grex buffer, which always looks really cool. Huge white chunks, love seeing that. Grex buffer is some, well, I don't think you can really get it anymore, but it used to be really good stuff when it was on the market, from what I can tell. But there's our shot, guys. Going down the stack height, I guess you'd call this, but we have a plastic wrap. It's not a Mylar wrap, it's not Teflon, it is just plastic. This is used to protect the shot from bore scrubbing, which can help with patterns, although this is nothing like what we have today with the Mylar or Teflon wraps. But for back in the day, this was a very nice thing to have. I love seeing stuff like this in shotgun shells. I guess you could call it sort of a transitional period between just straight conventionally loaded, which means, again, no shot cup or no real wad of any kind, just fiber wads, and then the shot crimp, whether it be a roll or fold. But later on, we got to see plastic wraps inside of shells, which did help with patterns just a little bit by preventing the lead from deforming so bad or rubbing against, again, the bore of the shotgun, which can smear it a little bit. I think these are really more intended to stop leading in bores, your barrel. Not really sure if that helped, but they went for it. Going down the line, we have an entire inch of fiber wad. This is not like the stuff you see me and Josh use all the time. This is a much harder, more dense material. And, well, it is a solid inch of it, but not a lot of give to that. The modern stuff's a lot better in my opinion. And underneath that, we have our gas seal. It is also fiber, as you can see. These look really cool, kind of remind me of bottle caps if bottle caps were made of fiber. But yeah, there is a hole in it. I did that with the screw when I was pulling it out of the shell. It's not going to hurt anything if we ever fire these because we still have this over top of it, and those are not all the way through both sides, as you can see. So it is still sealed up nice and well. But modern plastic ones do a much better job of sealing gases or the powder, however you want to look at it. Yeah, modern plastic ones do a much better job, but still, this is how they did it back in the day, and I actually like seeing stuff like this. I have to refilm this scene because somebody over there was blasting Turn the Page by Metallica, and I didn't want this video copyrighted, so we took a short break refilming this. We have 34 and a half, essentially, of this very large black flake powder, similar to AS, if you guys know what I'm talking about, although I'm sure this is definitely not that powder, as that stuff is relatively new, and this is an old shell. And here's what that looks like. As you can see, it really does look like AS, again, if you know what I'm talking about. But that is pretty cool to me. It takes up a lot of room in that shell, though. It's a very not dense at all powder. Yeah, I mean, it really takes up a lot of room. There's a lot of it in there too. But moving on, we have our hull here. Now, as you can tell, it is a straight wall with a relatively low base wad. Actually, I think the other one, the 1 5/8 ounce load, had the same lowish base wad. You can see the primer is sticking up above it quite a bit, and it is housed in, well, some of the plastic from the base wad. I guess this is you can call it a completely modern hull, it having a high base that is steel, again, not real brass. It's brass plated steel, a modern size 209 primer, straight wall shell with a plastic base wad, and a 6-point fold crimp. Modern Winchester hulls are exactly like this, although the plastic is a little bit different. And here it is put back together. Everything is back inside of it. Reload all to crimp it, and then a got BN2 to give it a taper. Looks a lot better than it did before I opened it up. I call that a success. The burn-in center of the crimp thing that Winchester likes to do is actually sealed up pretty well. I do not see anything through that, so I call that a 100% success. Focus. So there's a breakdown on Winchester Super X Turkey 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch Mag 1. I have no idea what that means, but 1.5 ounces of number 4 shot, copper plated and buffered. Really cool shell. I love breaking down vintage shells that are done up with, fiber wad, stuff like that. Old school style. But that's going to end this one here, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.